Before we get into it today, I would like to state that there is an opening vid where we unbox some stuff from New York that was given to us by fellow co-host Artie. Timestamps will be in the description as well as segmented in the video. Without further ado, please enjoy. Hello, everybody. I am your humble host, Gavin the Kitty, and over the weekend I drove 10 hours with Karmic to go see a wedding for my friend, Miss Artie. And while we were there, I made sure to make it a point to stop by and get a box. This box was promised to me last year, and it was promised to all of you. I said I'd do a video unboxing it, and here it is. The box is in hand. There's a little purple Among Us on it. Got my little razor, my very dangerous razor. Good razor, but it has cut me more than once, and I haven't noticed. I know I'm supposed to always cut away.
It's hard to cut away.
But it is very hard to cut away. Sometimes it's just easier to just bite the bullet. Mm-hmm. So, as I close up my little knife here, I don't know what's in here. So all of this is a genuine reaction. I see a few things on top. Let's see here. When I get, you getting a good shot of those? Got Casey doing the camera work for me today. So up first is a Donkey Kong Pez dispenser. That's cute. I like Pez. What the hell? A Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie McDonald's toy for $2. I got nothing on that. Among Us stickers. I'll figure out what's in here in just a second. Which, super lovely. These are going to end up all over, especially on the side of my desk, which is adorned with friends and stickers that I feel are relevant to me.
Including a sticker of Artie?
Yep, including a sticker of Artie, the person who gave us the box. Jumping into the next thing here. Little tube. Oh, I gotta open it up. Here. Okay. Let's see what this is. Oh, that's so fucking awesome. It's the inside of an Atari cartridge.
That's neat.
With Pac-Man. That's freaking... I love Pac-Man, and even the Atari version's pretty good. I want to do a video about it someday, but this is fucking cool. Here's a fun fact for you guys. These pins here push the cartridge down in from that slot. So the original cartridges for the 2600 basically had a built-in dust protector.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
It's really interesting tech. It's super simple, but super cool. I'm totally
kind of surprised they never kept that.
I know, right?
It's something that would keep them from being damaged by dust down the road.
Then we have a bunch of little trinkets. It seems like Space Jam DVD.
Is that Michael Jordan?
It's Michael Jordan. It's a Space Jam lollipop.
What the?
See?
I'm sorry.
Blew my mind.
My gosh, that's awesome.
See why I told you I had to open this up on camera. There was no other way. Random pig from Illumination.
That's the pig from Sing.
And then we have a box. Oh gosh. Something in here. A Hulk, alright. It's weirdly it feels like it has beads inside of it. Fucking the hell is this?
Michael Jordan.
The memes just keep coming out of the box, I swear to fuck. We have a DVD of season 2, volume 1 of iCarly, alright. I mean, I've been on a binge watch of
I love how it's season 2 specifically, not season 1.
I know, and it's volume 1, of course, because that's right where you want to start.
They should have gotten you volume 2 of season. What is that?
Oh, the world's best 3-wick candle, guaranteed. It says.
I think that's kind of ironic.
Handmade and ethically sourced. Smells delicious.
Milk? You're a milk drinker.
Milk has been a running gag on my streams for a while now. This smells wonderful.
It smells like milk.
It doesn't really smell like milk. It smells like buttermilk.
That's still milk.
But no. Buttermilk's a little different.
It's meant to be like cream, is it not?
Yeah, it's got a very nice cream smell to it. That is wonderful. And it looks like there's only one more thing in here.
God.
It is a rainbow cow. Same scent, from what I can tell.
Is it waxy or is it like
It's
soap?
Like chalky, kind of like a soap, but I think it's supposed to be a candle.
I just saw like dust come off of it.
It's all over my hands. It's amazing, and yeah, this is wonderful. I'm gonna get
I'm still laughing at the freaking that and the other thing. The other
I'm sure we'll get a kick out of most of this, and that's fucking hilarious. I really hope I open this up. It's just Morbius. No, it's actually that girly. Right.
No, it's just Space Jam DVD.
That would be funny. Yeah, no, this is great. A perfect little encapsulation of the last year of memes on my channel. That's perfect. While I was away, Sonic Origins Plus came out, and I promised you guys a follow-up video to our original Origins discussion. And of course, I've got Casey with me as always.
Hello again.
And let's start with the packaging here, because there's some upsides and downsides to this. So this physical copy we've got is just wonderful. We've got this nice gloss over the front, and then everything else on it's matte. Everything pops out a little bit. Looks very nice for a cardboard sleeve, and then the case has got this nice reversible cover along with the art book. So far, super charming. The problems come when you open up the game case. You may notice there's a download code. The full game is not on the disc, only Origins is. Which I think is really a downside. It's a detriment to this collection. Because that means you still need an internet connection to fully get Amy and Knuckles in Sonic CD. They probably should have waited. I don't have that strong of an opinion on it, so I don't really know. Do you have a strong opinion on it, Casey?
I think it's kind of dumb. They should have really included it in. I mean, at this point, you're just buying Origins again.
That's fair.
You're just buying Origins again, if you really think about it.
So, last time we said we were playing out before the patch. So, me wasting, I think in total now it's $85 on these games was not worth it at all for me. But we're not talking about people like me who have to have it on everything. We're talking about people who skipped out on Origins or are skeptical to pay the $10 for a DLC. Let's start with, how do the games feel now that it's been patched?
Now that it's been patched, a lot of the things that I found to be a bit of an issue with the original on our previous video have changed quite a bit.
Physics-wise, things haven't really...
Physics-wise, not really changed as much.
Tweaked.
They've been tweaked, yeah.
Knuckles, Amy, Sonic, they all feel really good to play as here. The Sonic CD, we managed to find a few of the Knuckles specific paths, but I mean, it's really hard to tell. These paths feel like they've always been there.
Yeah, they feel so natural that I actually came across one while playing as Amy, and I was like, oh, well, I can't get here.
Yeah, we were like, oh, we found one, finally. And it was just in Palm Tree Panic Act 2, I think?
It was Act 2 of Palm Tree.
Yeah, and we found one earlier on in Act 1, and both of them were like, oh, if I wasn't looking for it, I wouldn't even think twice about it. Like, it was just natural. which I think is the best way to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about CD is it is an exploration game, as much as many people don't want to think of it as that.
So
Yes.
having alternate paths is really like putting up a wall only for there to be, more coins or something. Yeah. It's really easy to do, but for it to feel this natural is really something special. Speaking of CD though, how last time we did the video and you told me that you didn't think that this was worth owning if you only bought it for CD, if you already owned the Taxman version from 2011.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts this time?
My mind is completely changed with the inclusion of the new Knuckles paths and Amy being in there and Knuckles. I think it's well worth it now. It feels way more fun to play as both Amy and Knuckles, mainly because of their playstyles being drastically different.
So we spent a majority of our time with Sonic 3.
Yes, we did.
And we wanted to see if the collision bugs were fixed, if the feeling of the game was better, if there was less input lag, which, pleased to say, the input lag problem has been solved.
Yeah, I actually had a much easier time playing as Amy because, believe it or not, she's actually smaller in terms of like how we normally play.
Like she's like 10 pixels smaller than Sonic.
So she's gonna feel a bit more floaty in certain aspects.
Like she jumps just as high as Sonic, but it feels higher because of that height difference. Her hammer extension is ridiculously broken.
Because it goes back to the way I described it was it feels like classic Sonic's Insta Shield from the original game with how broken its hitbox was.
And I'm all for it. It feels so much fun to play with.
It
breaks the game's difficulty, but it's so much fun.
Especially a certain topic we'll be touching on later in this video.
Yeah, the hammer throw ability for some news sources have been touting. Hey, look, there's a hammer throw.
Even though they were supposed to keep quiet about it.
The hammer throw is an ability only obtained in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and you have to get all of the Super Emeralds to activate the hammer throw, which is a little late into the game. It should be on the screen by now, but it destroys bosses. It's so much fun.
Should we put up the part where should we try to recreate the part where I just absolutely decimated that one boss?
I think I'm just gonna play that clip. Like there's
it's really crispy because of how
she just moves, and with the extended hammer hitbox, it allows her to do crazy things like the Aquarium Ruins boss or what is it?
Aquatic Ruin.
Aquatic Ruin Zone. You can just bonk Eggman just like you used to on the Genesis because of how far out her hitbox extends.
Yeah.
It's...
I guess the best way to put Amy is, like, if you want to get that classic feel back in, play as her.
Not really classic feel, but, like, an easier feel.
That's true. She did make 3 much more easier, to be honest, because I've noticed I've been able to slip through things much more
It was
easier.
really fun, though. One of the best moves was the hammer dash. So, it's activated like Sonic's drop dash. But instead of using the drop dash, she runs forward for I think 4 or 5 hits, and just swings her hammer wildly. And she has that drop dash speed for that little bit, and then she slows back down to regular speed, which makes holding momentum with it a non-thing that you can do. Like you just cannot follow through with momentum, but it allows for you to basically just be invincible for a second. I still managed to get hit while using it, but you can like turn around and all sorts of stuff. It's fun to do, but you really do have to time it.
Yeah, it does take a bit to get used to, but it's a pretty fun move, especially if you have like a lot of enemies in front of you.
It also allows you to get to some Knuckles areas because of her hammer swing.
Yeah, it does. Only some though.
Not all, because sometimes you have to climb with Knuckles. We found that her super form let her jump even higher.
Oh gosh, that got broken.
That got broken real quick, and the hammer throw alone was crazy.
Especially since you jump higher off of enemies if you...
As long as you are moving, the hammers will come out as fast as you will mash. If you're standing still, you have to wait for a little animation. But running, moving, jumping, you just throw.
Like, we tested this with me and my mashing ability with the
hammer.
With the hammer, it got extremely broken.
But that was basically it. As if anybody was like me and was really curious, how much did they change the game? How much did they change the physics? Calm your mind. This is now a definitive version to play these 4 games. But was it worth the $40? I think we'll touch on that later, I'm sure. So, the next thing that rolled around was the Game Gear games.
Yes.
We tested these out kind of earlier, and I was very pleasantly surprised to see that Sonic Drift, Drift 2, and Mean Bean Machine all have their 2-player modes intact and functional, which they have never done in any previous collection.
That's true. They have never done a 2-player on console at all.
We didn't give the 2-player stuff a go because it should just function, but the single-player Game Gear games, what did you think of them? Because I
thought they looked really nice. I thought the fact that they look softer because they're on a Game Gear, it's gonna be smaller screen. It looks really good here. It's not as soft as most people would probably think.
I thought it was fairly accurate emulation of a Game Gear.
The emulation was spot on. I really
But
liked it.
the one thing I do wish was an option was to switch it back to mono, but because the way they do it is an in-emulator option to essentially split the audio into 2 channels. Instead of picking specific chords to do the split audio with, they duplicate the audio. So you get a slightly double sounding. I wish it was switched back to a mono sound for at least TV play. Like, it's a little weird.
I didn't really notice it.
Yeah, most people aren't really gonna notice it just because it's a Game Gear. Nobody's played these games, for one. But for two,
I mean, I owned some of these games on Game Gear. I actually own one of the cartridges still.
but I mean, they're fine versions of the 12 Game Gear games.
They are, and they're really nice.
It's nice to see them re-released because the last time they were re-released was on the 3DS, actually.
Oh yeah, because they were virtual console.
They were individually wrapped virtual console games for $3 a pop.
Which isn't a bad price either.
It's not a bad price, but it's certainly not a good price. They added a couple more secrets and stuff in the game, but we're not going to spoil any of that. I think we should just jump right to our verdict so we can get to the meat and potatoes of this discussion, shouldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you did not pick up Origins already, you can go pick yourself up a physical copy of Origins Plus, and it's not a bad deal. $40 for all of it, and you get a DLC code for Amy and Knuckles. Cool.
A little art booklet as well, which
Yeah.
I think was really cute. I love the art booklet.
The art booklet is adorable. It's a nice little bonus. But is it worth it to go pick up a physical copy if you already own Sonic Origins? No.
No.
Is it worth the $10 extra to get Amy and Knuckles?
And
If you
a bunch of
already-
titles.
And the Game Gear titles if you already owned Sonic Origins? Maybe. I would have probably only priced this at $5. I'm not gonna lie. For as much as Amy and Knuckles paths add an Amy playable in all of them, I don't think there was enough substance here to say it was
I'd say $7 at most.
at most. I don't think it was worth $10. Because when we got Sonic Mania Plus, we got 2 playable characters, every stage had a new palette, and different paths,
In a new
and
mode.
that new mode had a completely new swapped mechanic from the live system, and a new bonus area, and you just don't get all of that here. You get emulated Game Gear titles and two characters, and one of them is spread across the entire, and the other one should have been there from the start. It's like
why was Knuckles not there in the beginning is my question.
This is really more of what Sonic Origins should have been. If you're talking Sonic Origins, you should be talking about Plus. I would say most people who wanted Sonic Origins Plus probably already got it. Do I think those skeptical should go pick it up? Only if they didn't pick up Origins already, and if they did, wait for the DLC to be dropped in price, because it felt scummy.
It did feel scummy.
The game feels better now. This is what we should have gotten, but it felt scummy. And I think that's the best way I could say it, is Sonic Origins Plus, while cool, I'd say is disappointing. I mean, I don't know if you agree, Casey, but...
It is slightly disappointing. I mean, I would have loved it if we got... I mean, yeah, we did get new art, and I don't know if we got new music at all. I highly doubt we did. I know we got new art and illustrations.
We didn't get any new music as far as I know. We got some new sound effects for stuff.
We got new sound effects for certain things. Some things were cleaned up, but that's about it.
So let's move on to the real part of this discussion. So, I promised you guys earlier on that there would be talk about Sonic Superstars in this video. And I think we should speculate, because I'm excited for Superstars. I don't know about Casey.
I am. Listen, a new, I guess we could put it at a 2.5D game.
Yeah, it's a 2.5D game.
Starring Sonic and his old pals, with Amy now as a playable character. I mean,
there's stuff to get excited about here, but there's also a little bit of worry
because of past attempts.
Not past attempts, Origins Plus.
Okay, well,
honestly, I'm not worried about Sonic 4. I'm not worried about Sonic 4 Episode 2. I'm not worried about the Rush games. I'm not worried about the advanced games. I'm not even worried about Sonic Colors. I am not worried about anything that has happened in the past with Sonic leading into his future. I'm worried about the thing that happened right now. So Sonic Superstars. Originally, I was super hyped for it. I still am. But there is something irking in the background of this game, and it bothers me. So, we've seen screenshots, we've heard a little bit of music, the gameplay looks like it plays well, the Taxman said the physics are on point from Mania. Basically, they did a complete conversion of the engine for him. We've got Fang the Sniper back, and we've got this new character called Trip, who's a little robot dude and looks great. Also, I think he might be a raccoon, because he's got a little raccoon tail.
I think he might not be fully mechanical, but just wearing armor.
I think he might be, too. Very cute characters. It's very Triple Trouble-esque. Apparently, there's going to be one more playable character, which looks exciting to me. However, we don't know anything about them yet, as of 6/26 when we're recording this.
I just like that Fang's back. Like,
yeah,
we haven't seen Fang in, like...
The renders for all this stuff are really good. I have to say, it's charming.
It is very charming.
But then we see everything else that's going on here. Pre-order to get Lego Sonic skin, pre-order to get a Lego Eggman, pre-order to get Amy Rose's exclusive skin by signing up to a newsletter. We're seeing all these skins get added. They say there's multiplayer with up to 8 players online. And I don't know about you, but...
I feel that the pre-order and subscribe to a certain newsletter is a bit too much.
But, yeah.
I'm not a fan of Okay, so I'll be real with you. I never played the Lego
Lego Dimensions.
Lego Dimensions game. I didn't play it.
It's
I
just
didn't-
another. It's
I
just
didn't
another Lego
really,
title.
I know it is, but I didn't really like the Lego Sonic add-on. I mean, I did as a kid. I blew up over it, but now looking back at it, it's not really that special, to be honest.
It's goofy.
It's really
cute.
overly goofy.
It's cute. It's for kids. But that's not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is the fact that, okay, we've seen classic Sonic get Mania, and then a couple years later we get a physical copy with, a couple months later we got a physical copy with more stuff added, and people felt gypped about that a little bit. But people were okay with it because we got a physical copy. This time Origins comes out, and then a couple months later we got Origins Plus, and it fixed everything in the original, just like Mania Plus did, and added content, and here's a physical copy, only this time it's a download code in the box. And this time I'm thinking, okay, we have Superstars. We're getting a Superstars physical copy. It's a $60 game. I have no problems with spending $60 on a 2D platformer. In fact, I think, hey, why not? They're still good games. But what if we get Sonic Superstars Plus? And what if it's just more of Sonic Origins Plus? Here's another physical copy. Here it's the same price as the original was when it came out originally. Oh, and it's only adding skins and maybe a new level or a playable character. And it'll start to feel like the way Street Fighter did back then. It was because Street Fighter did Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Champions, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 X, Super Street Fighter 2 on the go, Super Street Fighter 2 Mobile, Hyper Street Fighter 2, Ultra Street Fighter 2. Eventually, the consumer gets to a point where it's, oh, Sonic? I'll just wait for the Plus version.
And then the time then it won't come out.
Because it won't come out because it didn't sell well. There's no reason to put more money into it. It feels like Sega is running down a bad hill. The same hill that killed off Street Fighter from the 90s to the 2000s, up until 2010 with Street Fighter 4. It feels like we might be running Sonic into the same ditch, specifically classic Sonic.
I mean, when I bought the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter, I was like, okay. Because I didn't really get to look at the screen too much when you and I played it, or Karmic and I did. And then when I looked at it, I was like, okay, well, the Street Fighter 1. And then I saw the millions of 2s, and I'm like, why?
It's because they kept doing that. And then you notice there's 3 versions of 3 different versions of Alpha.
Okay, that's different.
No, it's not.
It's not? Well, if
No,
you think about
because Alpha 1, 2, and 3 aren't sequels to each other. They're revisions.
the revisions,
They're revisions.
I didn't know
They
that.
tell the same story. They have the same gameplay and run on the same engine.
I didn't know.
It's kind of like if I was playing Street Fighter 4. Did you know there's like 7 versions of 4?
No.
Did you know there's 3 versions of Street Fighter 5?
No, I did not.
And there's probably going to be at least 2 versions of Street Fighter 6 going. Like,
Let's pray not.
I hope not. I hope it's just updates. But honestly, with the way they're doing pluses with Sonic, I don't know why. I don't think I can feel as excited for Superstars knowing that they might pull something like a Sonic Superstars Plus. No, I'm still gonna pick it up. I love showing off Sonic games for the channel because I enjoy showing my love for the series. But I feel like this is a situation where I have to voice my concern as a creator. I owe it to everybody to be like, hey, I've noticed this trend in the past. We might be headed down the same road, and if it hits the developers' ears even once, we might be able to stop that train before it comes, and there might still be hype in for the rest of the Sonic series, because...
Plus, if they don't plan for Plus, they'd be able to put more into this.
Yeah, exactly, because it feels like Origins was put out for an anniversary year, but Plus is what it should have been. And if
I feel like with what our
they
rebound would...
I feel like they only did the Sonic Origins Plus because they said it's an anniversary year. Mania did Plus. We'll just do Plus here too. So, as you were saying, I'm sorry.
I just feel like if we all, like what you said, if our rebuttal manages to reverb far enough, they might be able to, like, hear us and hear our concerns and realize that this is not what we want. If you guys are gonna put skins and stuff,
Sure, do it.
Do
Whatever.
it. I mean, I was okay with the Sonic Adventure 2 soap shoes being in Frontiers. Hell, that was awesome.
But it shouldn't have been a newsletter exclusive.
It shouldn't be.
Because now it's lost except for PC players who can mod it. And I think that's really where the discussion lies is, can we be excited for Superstars knowing that we might get burnt with a Superstars Plus? And the thing is it rolls off the tongue so well, they might just.
They might just do it.
Yeah. Now, I don't know, like,
here's the thing. If they released it a few years later...
yeah, sure,
and,
whatever.
Listen, if they released it a few years later and added a second story to it...
That's something else, though. That's
what would make it worth to buy the second one.
Or do the Frontiers route. Or $60 game, here's 3 full updates, with the final one being a big story mode. I haven't gotten the chance to play the recently released update for Sonic Frontiers, but
everyone's going nuts about it.
People are going crazy with it. They added in momentum physics for falling and decelerating. They just adding in more and more content, and that's the way to do it. And that's a $60 game. And if Superstars is going to go down that route, well, that's a totally different discussion. But if they go down the plus route of here's DLC and it's kind of, here's $10, I'm going to shrug my shoulders and go, I'll wait for a discount. Because it won't be worth it for me to show it or talk about it.
I get that feeling. I understand what you mean by the shrug, I'll wait for the discount. Because I had to deal with that growing up. With my consoles when I got them.
Like, it's not like I have a lot of games. I have a lot of things I love to cover on this series, but if it's just gonna be plus, it's harder for me to get excited.
I mean, who's to know that, who's gonna doubt that the next game after Superstars might just be Sonic Plus at that point?
Yeah.
They'll just redo one, but...
Plus. And that's
what we're scared of.
I'm not scared of that. I'm scared of...
No, the repeat of Plus.
That's
what I meant.
I'm scared of spending... Yeah. I'm scared of the moment where I'm like, okay, I pre-ordered Sonic Origins originally and I spent $45 and I was like, yeah, whatever, I just spent this. And then I spent another $40 when Origins Plus came out. I spent a total of $85 on Sonic Origins. And a part of me feels really gypped about it. And I don't know. It's still a good game.
What did you get for pre-ordering Sonic Origins?
For pre-ordering Sonic Origins?
Yes, originally.
That depends. Are we talking the $40 game? Because you got nothing for that.
What did people get for... Was there a higher one that you could do?
You got, $45, which is what I did. And I spent it, and it added... You know the menus where you can zoom in and out of the menus of the islands?
Oh,
you got that. You got the remixes and the premium sections of the movie's art gallery and illustrations.
Those weren't in the...
No.
Why?
They were premium DLC for $5. And then the other thing they added were 3 EX challenges in each game. So if you go to the challenge mode, they get EX challenges.
That's kind of trash.
They're included in with this game, but
they're locked behind. Now, just imagine somewhere down the line, it goes to be used. You're not going to be able to activate it.
Well, here's the thing. You won't be able to activate Amy or Knuckles or the paths for them in Sonic CD or Amy in any of the games, really. But you'll be able to access all the EX challenges because they're there on the cart.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You won't be able to access Plus if you buy it used somewhere, which is the big concern.
Yeah, it really isn't... It's not that it hurts the company. It hurts the people. And I think that's something as gamers we need to understand, that these companies aren't always our friends, and sometimes they do stuff just for profit. And Sonic Origins Plus is exactly that. It's just profit for profit's sake, for no other reason than to hurt the used games market. And I don't think that's right. As a collector, as a fan, as a player, I don't think that's right.
Plus, that was not meant to be a joke.
Well, I mean, it landed.
It did land. Plus, the thing with this is that, I mean, think about the amount of kids that will probably try to get a used copy because of how expensive it is, and only to be disappointed by it.
Because they can't play as their favorite character,
Or
who is Amy.
Yeah, right? Like, just imagine that.
That just sucks. And
Like, we go to Play It, Trade It all the time.
Yeah, local game shop.
We go to local game shops all the time, and, you know, you'll pick up whatever you see, and, you know, I'll go for, like, oh, this cart for Game Boy looks really good. Or I'll see something that I like. Now,
it just doesn't, all of it all just doesn't need a big story. It really is just, if you bought a used game and it's for a modern system, and it had a DLC code, and the shop goes down, you can no longer access that DLC, and Origins Plus is going to be one of those games where people are going to buy the PC version. People are going to mod in Amy, Knuckles, and the entire DLC for free. And it'll decentivize... it'll decentivize people buying the extra DLC and stuff. It'll decentivize them buying it on a console because they know that if they buy the physical version, it's not going to have all the content. And I don't think I've run into a situation where I felt this way before.
I mean, I kind of have. A couple months ago, I bought Resident Evil 5 on PS3, a gold edition specifically.
Oh, PS3. Oh, yeah.
Now, wait for this. I was worried that the gift I was giving, the gift that I had, that I was going to give to someone, was going to be this is locked behind a PSN activation code inside the thing.
Oh my gosh.
Luckily enough, it was actually pre-installed into the game underneath like a installation screen on the actual thing, so you did not need to activate it in PSN or anything.
Okay, well, this doesn't have an activation problem.
That's the thing.
But it's the same. It's the same situation.
It's the same fear.
Where it's like you buy Plants vs Zombies, and it's just like, oh, I can't use this because it's online, and they shut the servers down. That's a shame.
what I was afraid of when I bought the game.
I guess this is just more me voicing my concerns. I'll either... Yeah. No. I don't have anything else to say.
It's kind of a sour note for the end of a...
It's a sour note, but I feel sour about it. And that's sad, because I talked so positively about Origins, but...
So did I.
Spending an extra $40, or even just $10 for this, I'd feel gypped. Like, I mean...
I would too. I didn't even spend my money on this, and I'm just like, wow.
I'll play it. I'll enjoy it. I'll be passing it around. We'll stream it if you guys want, but man, Sega do better. I've been your humble host, Gavin the Kitty. Good night, everybody.